Welcome, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be here at SUNY New Paltz and to have the privilege of being able to welcome our governor. I'd like to, before we begin, acknowledge some folks that are with us today. Our United States Senator, John Bonasek. County Legislator Dave Donaldson. County Legislator Hector Rodriguez. Our New Paltz Town Supervisor, Susan Zimmett. Rosendale Town Supervisor Jeannie Walsh. And of course, the president of this wonderful university, Dr. Don Christian. Now, we are lucky here in Ulster County to live in an amazing place, a place that has a wonderful economy that is built on a diversification of our economy. We have a tourism-based economy that's done extremely well. The governor's been so incredibly supportive of that every step of the way. We also have a beautiful agriculture-based economy that's $500 million here, and the governor has been amazing on that as well. But what we're here to talk about is SUNY 2020. SUNY 2020 is a special initiative of the governor, the chancellor, and we are so fortunate to be here for some exciting announcements. And so with that, I would like to introduce President Christian.
Thank you, County Executive Hein. Good afternoon to all of you. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you here to SUNY New Paltz on a great day like this. We're here today, as you've heard, for an exciting announcement about the SUNY 2020 Challenge Grant Program, which was launched at SUNY by Governor Cuomo along with the state legislature to integrate the academic excellence of our public universities with the state's regional approach to economic development. It's a smart and forward-thinking program because in today's interconnected world, universities are no longer just about higher learning. We also play a central role in our economies and the workforce. The SUNY 2020 program has created a competitive environment where colleges like SUNY New Paltz can propose projects that tie our academic missions to economic development, and the state will step up to provide the funding to make these projects a reality. Here at SUNY New Paltz, our proposal seeks funding to create an engineering innovation hub. The hub will provide the resources to support and diversify the college's engineering programs, addressing a critical shortage of engineers needed to serve advanced manufacturing interests in the Mid-Hudson Valley, while also providing much-needed instructional and research space and a tangible, marketable response to the governor's call for the establishment of the Startup New York program on SUNY campuses. In addition to providing a much-needed home for expanded engineering offerings, the hub will include a 20,000 square foot building in close proximity to the Resnick Engineering Hall. The facility will include relevant and state-of-the-art equipment to support engineering and facilities and space to support the work of companies partnering with SUNY New Paltz through our 3D printing and engineering programs and the Startup New York initiative. The project promises to generate $75 million in new economic impact, create more than 195 full-time jobs, and graduate 300 much-needed engineers over a 10-year period in the Mid-Hudson region alone. It's an investment in the engineering program that will help nourish and complement the college's existing electrical and computer engineering majors, as well as our rapidly evolving 3D printing program by providing education and training for those who will lead and drive cutting-edge technology in the future. Our proposal also solidifies SUNY New Paltz's connection to other centers of higher learning in the region by establishing new curricula and equipment investment at SUNY Orange, SUNY Ulster, and Dutchess Community College. So that, in a nutshell, is our vision for growing both the educational opportunities that we provide for students and supporting the regional economy. It's now my pleasure to introduce New York Senator John Bonasek, our senator here in the 42nd District. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing out there, okay? First of all, let me start by saying I know that SUNY New Paltz is the gem in the SUNY system for what they do here. And I know that the enrollment or the people that want to come to this university is very high, and it's tough to get in here because of the tough academic standards. And that's a tribute to this president, to our professors, and everybody that works here. I want to say a couple words about our governor. Being a governor of the state of New York is very tough. A lot of conflicting agendas. But we have a governor that's courageous, that believes in creating jobs and excellence in education. And when he makes a decision, he sticks with it. And he has moved the state forward. He has moved it forward in terms of Albany is a more efficient place. And so I want to thank him for coming here today and investing $10 million in this university, because we know it will provide education opportunities for students for years to come. And the last thing that I'd like to mention is that when you look around the world, other than the United States, many parts of the world are not a safe place. And more corporate America is talking of coming back to the United States and investing and building. And this governor knows that, and he's creating programs where we will have the workforce to receive any of the challenges that corporate America comes back here and reinvests. At this time, I'd like to introduce our great governor, Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you very much, Senator Bonasek. I liked him better as a U.S. Senator, didn't he, those few minutes? It is truly a pleasure to be back in New Paltz. It is a great academic university, as John said, great student population, great teachers, and it's getting better and better. So it's truly a pleasure to be back. To Senator Bonasek, I want to thank him for his collegiality, for his partnership. Albany does work much better than it's worked in a long, long time. We actually passed 4 budgets in a row on time. You could say, well, you're supposed to do that. I know we're supposed to do that. But we hadn't done it in over 40 years. So we don't agree on everything, but we don't allow the disagreements to stop the functioning of government. And to me, that is the art form. You look at Washington, D.C., and you look at the gridlock. Once you get to gridlock, you get to paralysis, everybody loses. Because when the government isn't functioning, you're not moving forward. And how do you handle your differences without allowing them to paralyze the institution? And Senator Bonasek and I work on a lot of issues, judges, et cetera. But we've always found a way to work it out and to keep the state moving forward. And to me, that is the difference between a politician and a statesman. And Senator Bonasek is a statesman. Let's give him a round of applause. Mike Hine, who's doing a great job and is a young rising star. Let's give him a round of applause. And Dr. Christian, who hit it out of the park on this one. This was a very tough competition, and you won the competition. And that's kudos to you, Doctor. Let me say this, of all the issues that we've been working on in Albany over the past 4 years, probably what we've spent the most time on is the economy. Why? Because the economy is jobs, and if you're producing jobs, then a lot of the other situations take care of themselves. If you're producing jobs, then there's a tax base, and Mike Hine is a tax base, and he can do what he needs to do. If you're producing jobs, there's opportunity, there's hope, young people are staying, the economy is strong. And the truth is, in New York, for a lot of years, we've been struggling with the economy. First, we've been struggling nationwide with the economy. It's been a slow 7 years with the national economy. When you think about it, it's that long. But New York, it's been even worse, especially the Mid-Hudson, especially upstate New York. I think New York lost its way economically. I call it the New York, we had hangover arrogance, you know. At one time, we had an attitude that we're New York, people come here, people stay here because we're New York. Where else can they go? They would never leave. We're New York. How could you leave New York? I understand that attitude. You can leave New York. If you look at a map, you see New York, and then you see a lot of these other shapes to the west of New York. Those are called other states. And you can move to those other states, as hard as that is to imagine. And people have been doing it, you know. And that's why I call it the hangover arrogance. We thought they were going to stay no matter what we did. And New York, in many ways, became anti-business. Highest taxes in the United States of America. And you know what people said? I'll leave. As our business climate was becoming more anti-business, they were becoming more mobile. People are becoming more mobile, businesses are becoming more mobile, and we saw an exodus from New York. So we said we have to turn that around. And we turned it around dramatically in 4 years. We started by focusing on pro-business and pro-growth policies. We focused on tax reform. Every person in this room pays a lower tax rate than they did 4 years ago. Every person in this room. We have the lowest corporate tax rate since 1968, the lowest manufacturing tax rate since 1917, the lowest personal income tax for the middle class since 1953. So we made a powerful statement to business with the taxes. We're not who you thought we were. We're different, we're reducing taxes, while other states are raising taxes. And then we got creative with our economic development activities. Mike mentioned tourism. Mid-Hudson, upstate New York, one of the real beautiful assets is the place itself, is the geography, is the history, are the natural assets. And we never marketed it. So we took the I Love New York campaign, which was basically moribund, and we energized the I Love New York campaign and we invested in it. We spent $40 million in advertising, which is a lot of money, and we increased revenue $4 billion, just showing people what upstate and the Mid-Hudson are all about. So tourism came back. We were investing in craft breweries, agriculture, an entire diversified economy all across the board. And we started something called startup zones, which I believe are going to be the future of the Hudson Valley and upstate New York. Startup zones are very simple. You complain about New York taxes, you say taxes are lower in other parts of the country. A startup zone is a 100% tax-free zone, period. No income tax, no sales tax, no property tax for 10 years in a startup zone. Geographic zone, several miles, no taxes for 10 years, any new job created. It takes that whole tax argument and flips it on its head. It takes New York high taxes and takes you to the exact opposite place, where New York is now the least expensive place in the country to start a business. In the country. People say, well, Florida, Texas, they have no income tax. They have no income tax, but they have other taxes. If you don't have an income tax, you have to have some other tax base. So they'll have a high property tax, a value-added tax, they'll have another tax. Our startup zones are all tax-free 100%. 64 of them in the state, 59 of the 64 in the Hudson Valley and upstate. Why? Because that's where we need the help. And kudos to the New York State Legislature. They're now focusing on the Hudson Valley and upstate New York in a way they never did before. And that's where we need the economic activity, and that's why the startup zones are in the Hudson Valley and upstate New York, and they're working. And the entire approach is working. You can feel it when you're on the street, you can feel it in communities all across the state, and you can see it in the numbers. We created 500,000 new jobs over the past 4 years. We're number 2 in job creation since the recession, number 2 in job creation. Unemployment in this region, 4 years ago, 7.6%. Today, 5.7%. That makes a difference. You bring down that unemployment rate, it means people are working, people are paying taxes, people have hope, people can take care of their families. So the arrows are all pointed in the right direction. This project today, to me, puts it all together. And this is the future. We have a competition we call SUNY 2020. SUNY 2020 says to all the SUNY schools in the state, give us your best ideas for how you can advance your educational agenda and how you can create jobs and stimulate the economy in your region, and we will pick the best plans and we'll invest in the best plans. And the SUNY schools themselves compete. And we have gotten some really great applications. And this is the 3rd year we're doing it, and the applications are getting better every year because the competition is growing every year. And we had dozens of applications to choose from, and only a handful win. This puts all the pieces together. This is advanced manufacturing high tech, which is exactly where the jobs are coming from. You look at the regions of the country that are exploding, they are advanced manufacturing high tech. Where do the industries come from? Educational facilities. They're always linked to educational facilities. Silicon Valley was Stanford University. Making those great engineers, they were going out, and that was Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley's problem now is they can't find the new talent. They're literally not producing enough engineers to feed the economy. That's also going to be New York's opportunity. So this is advanced manufacturing. This is high tech, 3D printing, they call it. I don't fully understand exactly what it is, but I know it's the way of the future, and I know it makes a lot of money, and it puts together education of more mechanical engineers, which is the field that we desperately need, and it puts it together with a startup zone, which is a no-tax zone, which says to businesses, come to New Paltz, use this new technology, we're creating the talent from the school, this is the place of the future, and come to New York because you don't pay any taxes in a startup zone. It has the entire comprehensive package all together. And it really is the future. And it's no surprise that it came out of New Paltz because you have been pointing the way to the future for a long, long time. Congratulations to all of you. Dr. Christian, job well done. Everyone who worked on the application, congratulations. $10 million to make this dream a reality. You deserve it.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. I will leave you with this. SUNY New Paltz is ranked in the top 3 in the United States of America for return on investment for your tuition. It speaks volumes of New York, it speaks volumes of this university, and it speaks volumes of the people who are here. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.